racing BMW right ahead of him, and that car's many laps down, having completed 578, where the lead laps in GTD Pro are on 6:34 now. So this is a little bit of a temperature rise, a blood pressure rise perhaps for Tommy Milner. Here comes the BMW across the tri-oval, goes to the right, dives to the left, down to the inside for the bright yellow Corvette. Now this is danger time, out to turn 2, down towards the International Horseshoe. The Corvette is the meat in the Paul Miller Racing BMW sandwich at the moment. Yeah, holding him up on the apex. Augusto Farfus parked the 48 car to give his teammate an opportunity maybe to get a better exit through the kink. Heading down towards the western end of the infield. It's very canny driving by all of them here, right in the middle of the road. And towards turn 6. No flashing the headlights down the inside. This is the battle for the lead in the GTD Pro category. Mild touch, right front to left rear. BMW to Corvette, but Tommy Milner has held his own and given himself a little bit of breathing space from the back of the Paul Miller BMW that is laps down. He's got 3 car lengths, 2.5, 2 car lengths now, going towards the Le Mans chicane. It's a car length and a half. It's now a car's length. It's now nothing at all. Oh, there was a jink there in the braking area by Tommy Milner. Was that a reaction to what was going on? Blocking here is very much discouraged. If you move in reaction to the car behind, that will be looked at as they come round to make another lap. We'll stay with this for a second. Joe Bradley waiting patiently for a CrowdStrike pit lane update. We'll get down to him in a second, but this is the lead in GTD Pro. Across the line, they rumble down towards turn 1, and once again, Tommy Milner has the same problem. Augusto Farfus in front of him, not really playing tail gunner, as we've got the caught-off Mercedes AMG and the Aston Martin number 27 under review for an incident as well. That's now being looked at in race control to my left. So once again, Tommy Milner has this double BMW problem with Augusto Farfus, who sits in 12th position in GTD Pro, but with many laps to make up. But he can't get past him. The cars are very similar in performance, and Tommy Milner does not want to risk the Corvette, reasonably so. He's leading the class, and he's got another BMW from the same team. Tommy plants the car in the middle of the road as he comes to the left-hander to go up onto the high banks. Here we go again. Ding, ding, ding. Seconds out, round 3. And it will be into the braking area at the Le Mans chicane. Now, can Tommy get a little bit of a draft from Augusto Farfus? He seems to be. He'll have to go down the inside. Farfus, I would think, will stick on the yellow line here on the inside, and that's exactly what he is doing. Here comes a prototype as well. It's the number 88 for AF Corsa, inserting itself into the mix as they come through at the moment, and that's the leader in LMP2. Johnny Edgar coming through, passing the leader in GTD Pro. Carves his way underneath the Corvette, over the top of the BMW. He's been chased down by Job van Eyter. Sorry, it's Nick Nielsen that's in that car. It's Johnny Edgar who's chasing him down. My apologies. Back again for another crack at this. I'll keep an eye on this as we go down to Joe Bradley for a quick CrowdStrike pit lane paddock report.
Yeah, just to keep you up to date with the Porsche Penske pit stops. We had the number 7 in, full service, driver, tyres, fuel, and likewise the number 6 followed suit very shortly after that. So both Porsches out there, and very standard, straightforward, well choreographed, very swift pit stops for the 2 leaders.
Caught off AMG's copping a penalty to drive through for the Mercedes AMG GT3, and that means Daniel Morad will have to come down the pit lane again. This is not a replay that I'm seeing in front of me. Back to turn 6, and again Augusto Farfus towing the company line. I don't see Farfus doing anything wrong. He's not moving around under braking. He's putting his car in exactly the place that Tommy Milner doesn't want it to be. But this time Milner gets a really good draft. Can he dispose of that lapped BMW and put that between himself and the car that's trying to take the lead of class? He'd have to go down the inside. The last of the late brake is here. He does not do that. Farfus leaves his braking late, rolls through, rolls through the left, and then does not do the car.
There's too many disconnected apps and it's killing productivity. But for the first time, there's a platform that fixes it. Click up.
We might hit. Well, they're all on a pretty similar pit lane strategy and fuel strategy. Been out for 16 and 17 laps, respectively. The BMW of Paul Miller, the #1 car, Paul Miller Motorsport car, and the Corvette. Right, down the international hairpin, Farfus presumably will steer to the inside. Confirmation of Daniel Morad and the drive-through penalty after contact with the Aston Martin Heart of Racing Vantage. Well, we'll ask Tommy Milner when he gets out of the Chevrolet Corvette #4 what the part number on the BMW M4 GT3 rear wing is of Augusto Farfus, because he's been looking at it that much he must have memorised everything on the back of there now. He's been close a couple of times. What's interesting to me is that Conor De Filippi in that #1 car behind Tommy Milner has not been able to make a concerted effort. It's 21 seconds further back before we see the first of the Ford Mustang GT3s with Chris Mees and Mike Rockenfeller. Down to the Le Mans chicane again. I think Tommy Milner has now settled for the fact that he's not easily going to pass that BMW ahead of him, and he's more... I was going to say he's more looking at what's going on behind. Race control have intervened. Farfus has been called for blocking, and that will be a drive-through. Well, there's a talking point right there. There's many ways that you can block, and Farfus does it again. This time, now that time he did move towards the apex. I was about to say, it's not as if he's been weaving around under braking, but that time he left the door open and then closed it again right in the middle of the road as they come to the international horseshoe. There's contact between the #1 car and the Corvette, so that's the second place car in GTD Pro hitting the left rear of the leading car. This could be another penalty for BMW here. Both of their cars involved bodywork in the air floor of the back left-hand side, flapping around now for Tommy Milner. There was a certain inevitability about this as they went into the international horseshoe. Milner goes down the inside and then gets stood up in the middle of the corner again by Augusto Farfus.